Nobody saw it coming. Not the fans, not the superstars, not even the commentary team, who are paid to see everything. It was the main event. A brutal, chaotic match for the championship was in full swing. The champion was down. The challenger was climbing the turnbuckle, moments away from a career-defining victory, and then nothing. A sudden, suffocating blackout. The music stopped. The crowd noise vanished, replaced by a collective gasp. A confused, almost terrified silence fell over 20,000 people. The referee checked his earpiece. The wrestlers in the ring froze, their shadows barely visible. And then, boom! That sound. That one, unmistakable descending guitar riff. I hear voices in my head. The arena didn't just cheer, it detonated. It was a sound of pure, unadulterated shock. After months, long months of injury rumors, of career-ending speculation, of complete and total silence, the Viper has struck again. Randy Orton is back. The camera pans across the crowd, faces of disbelief, hands on heads, people screaming, some even crying. This wasn't supposed to happen, not now, not like this. And that's exactly why it did. The apex predator just put the entire industry on notice. He stands on the ramp. He's not posing, he's not playing to the crowd, he's just standing. He's leaner than we remember, sharper. He walks slowly, deliberately, not with the arrogance of the legend killer, but with the cold, measured patience of a hunter who has all the time in the world. He doesn't look left. He doesn't look right. His eyes are locked on the two men in the ring, the champion and the challenger, who have completely forgotten their match. They are no longer competitors. They are just prey. The commentary team is silent. There are no catchphrases. There are no, "Oh my God," just a stunned, heavy silence. The crowd is chanting, "Holy," but Orton doesn't seem to hear them. He's in his own world, his own hunt. He steps onto the apron, and the fear in the ring is palpable. The young champion, who has spent the last 6 months calling himself the new face of the company, is pale. His bravado is gone. Randy Orton hasn't said a word. He hasn't touched anyone. And yet, he has already taken complete control. This isn't the same man. The man who left was a veteran. The man who returned, he's something else entirely, something darker. Before Randy even stepped through the ropes, the digital world had already collapsed. Social media wasn't just on fire, it was a smoking crater. The platform formerly known as Twitter didn't just lag, it momentarily broke. The #1 trend worldwide, faster than any algorithm could process. Orton. Not Randy Orton, just Orton. Every sports website, every wrestling blog, every insider who claimed to know everything, they were all exposed. Their sources were silent. Their planned articles, their post-show analyses, all of it, obsolete. We see the footage from the fans' phones, blurry, shaky, and absolutely electric. We hear the sheer, unfiltered sound of the moment. It was a shared global gasp. This was more than a superstar returning. This was a myth walking out of the fog. For months the narrative was that he was done. The injury was too severe. The time was past. The new generation had taken over, but in the 3 minutes it took for him to walk down that ramp, the entire landscape of the WWE tilted on its axis. The entire world was watching, and nobody, absolutely nobody, had a clue what to say next. If you think the ring was chaos, imagine the scene backstage. We're watching the gorilla position monitor, the view just behind the curtain. Producers are on headsets, their faces white. They're not giving orders, they're asking questions. Who cleared him? Was he scheduled? Is this real? The other superstars, the ones who were waiting for their segment, are just standing there, glued to the monitor. The new generation that Randy's return just overshadowed. Their expressions aren't excitement. They aren't happy to see a legend. It's the cold, dawning realization that the climb to the top just became impossible. This wasn't a welcome back party. This was an invasion. The locker room, which had its own delicate ecosystem, its own pecking order, was just thrown into total anarchy. Who is his target? Is it the champion? Is it the man who injured him? Or is it everyone? The fear is that this Randy Orton didn't return with a contract in hand. He returned with a hit list, and the management, the authority figures who love to talk about control, they have never looked more powerless. The Viper is loose, and he wasn't invited. Back in the ring, the champion and the challenger are frozen. They've formed an unspoken, terrified alliance. They both look at the ramp as if for help, but the ramp is empty. Randy is in the ring with them. He moves to the center. The champion, full of false courage, finally speaks. "This is my ring now, old man," he stammers. You have no business being here." Randy Orton just looks at him. He tilts his head, a slow, curious motion, like a scientist studying an insect. He doesn't say a word, he just smiles. It's not a viper smile. It's not a legend killer smirk. It's an empty, cold, hollow smile. It's the smile of a man who finds the very idea of this new champion amusing. The champion's face falls. He sees it too. He's not being taken seriously. He's being dismissed. He swings. A wild, desperate punch born of pure fear. Randy doesn't even flinch. He just ducks, and in that same fluid motion, he's behind him. The challenger, seeing his chance, tries to roll the champion up, and in that moment, he makes the fatal mistake. He takes his eyes off the predator. It's the most famous 3 letters in sports entertainment. But this was different. The challenger tries to stand, proud of his smart move, and he stands up, into the waiting arms of the Viper. The RKO is instantaneous. The sound of the impact on the mat is sickening. The crowd explodes. But Randy doesn't pose. He doesn't pound the mat. He doesn't soak in the cheers. He just kneels, his hands still on the mat, looking at the unconscious man at his feet. The champion, seeing his opening, grabs his title belt. He's going to strike. This is his moment to take out the legend. He charges. Randy never even looks up. He just moves. The champion swings the belt and misses and finds himself caught. RKO. On the championship belt, the crowd is losing its mind. And Randy Orton stands up. He looks at the 2 bodies, he looks at the championship, and he picks it up. He looks at it, not with desire, but with disdain. He holds it up, the crowd cheers, and he drops it. He just lets it fall. He turns, steps over the champion's body and leaves. He didn't come for the title. He came to make a statement. The next morning, the entire wrestling world is different. Every podcast, every sports talk show is asking the same question. What just happened? The narrative is no longer about the new champion. The narrative is no longer about who is next in line. The narrative is Randy Orton. He didn't just interrupt a match. He interrupted the entire story the company was trying to tell. That new era they were building? He just proved it was built on sand. And he is the tide. The locker room is in a state of quiet terror. The hunters of the roster, the ambitious young stars who were clawing their way to the top, have overnight become the hunted. Every promo, every match now has an unspoken tension. Is he watching? Will he be here? He's the apex predator, and he has just been reintroduced to the ecosystem. And the most terrifying part, nobody knows why. He's not talking. He hasn't given an interview. He hasn't posted a cryptic tweet. He just showed up, destroyed the main event, and vanished. The power dynamic hasn't just shifted. It's been shattered. The company, of course, tries to capitalize. They put his face on the posters. They announce he will open the next show. They promise answers. But when the show opens, he's not there. His music doesn't play. Instead, the champion he destroyed comes out, trying to save face, demanding Randy be fined and suspended. And the entire arena just boos him. They don't want the champion. They don't want the story. They want the Viper. Randy Orton, in his absence, has become more powerful than the entire active roster. His silence is deafening. It's a black hole that is sucking all the light and noise in the company toward it. He has proven that he doesn't need the WWE. The WWE needs him. He's not an employee. He's not a superstar. He's a force of nature that has become sentient. He's not on their schedule. He's on his. And he will strike, not when the script calls for it, not when the pyrotechnics are ready. He will strike when he wants to. And that is a kind of power that no championship belt can ever represent. We all focused on the physical, the injury that took him away. We debated the surgery, the recovery time, the long-term prognosis. We thought the biggest question was, can his body hold up? We were wrong. The biggest question was, what happens to a predator's mind when it's forced to be still? For over a year, Randy Orton wasn't hunting. He was in a dark room, in silence, recovering. He was, for the first time in his life, prey. Prey to his own body. Prey to the doubts. Prey to the whispers that he was finished. The voices in his head. The gimmick we all quoted. What if they weren't a gimmick? What if they were the only thing he had? In that silence, in that darkness, he wasn't just healing. He was festering. The frustration, the anger, the predatory instinct with nowhere to go, it all just coiled, tighter and tighter. The man who returned isn't the man who left. The man who left was a performer. The man who returned is the physical manifestation of that coiled, compressed, dark patience. He didn't just recover, he evolved. And that is the twist. That is the thing we are all missing. We ask, who is his next target? We assume he's back for the championship, or for revenge, or for one last run. We misunderstand the nature of the predator. We thought the legend killer was about status. We thought the Viper was about championships. We were wrong. This new thing is about necessity. He's not hunting for glory. He's not hunting for money. He's hunting for quiet. The man who returned is not at war with the champion. He is at war with the silence that almost swallowed him. He's back because the screams of the crowd, the fear in his opponent's eyes, the thud of a body hitting the mat, that is the only sound loud enough to drown out the voices that haunted him in his absence. He's not back for a title. He's back because, for a man like Randy Orton, the hunt is not a choice. It is the only thing that proves he is still alive. And the most dangerous man in WWE isn't the one who wants to win. It's the one who needs to hunt.